It was a thrilling feeling. I was very excited. I'm just freaking out. That person exposed themselves there because there is about 115 million channels, which is, wow, some miracles happened. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kat, and today I have a bit of a reflective video. I wanted to celebrate making 100 videos on YouTube, and for that occasion I had a little bit of thinking and reflection, looking back at the almost 2 years that I've been on YouTube, and I came up with 10 lessons and things that I've learned along the way. I did make a similar video a while ago now after making my first 10 videos. That was kind of my first goal on YouTube. When I started, I had not really any clear goal or objectives with the channel, and so I just told myself that I needed to make 10 videos and then I could quit if I didn't enjoy it. So I've made the 10 videos and I had some lessons that I extracted from it, and now 90 videos later I have more to share. Without further ado, let's start with the first thing I learned from making 100 videos on YouTube. That is understanding my reading taste a bit more. Having a YouTube channel where I talk about books has forced me to be more articulate about the things that I like and don't like about certain books and trends, and to gain clarity about the things I enjoy. As a result, I gained some insights about my reading tastes. So for example, I realized that I do love stories about sisters. And so now when I'm hesitant about a book, but I know it's about sisters, then I'm more likely to pick it up because I know that it's a theme that I'm very interested about that I hadn't front of mind before. I've also noticed that most likely the whole cozy trend isn't really for me. I've read a few books that fall into the cozy category and didn't really enjoy them. One was kind of Korean contemporary fiction, the other one that comes to mind was a fantasy, and in both cases those weren't really books that I enjoyed that much. So now I am better equipped to steer away from that trend and not be influenced by all of the videos that people make about those books, because I know that they are most likely not for me. I've also learned that ARCs, which is advanced reader copies, are not really a thing for me. I signed up to NetGalley, which is a website where you can request ARCs to get to read books before they are released in exchange for an honest review. The first time I got accepted to get an ARC, I won't lie, it was a thrilling feeling. I was very excited, and it's been the case each time. Like when I get accepted to read a book as an ARC, I'm always very grateful, I'm always very excited. But of all the books that I've read as an ARC, there were quite a few that I actually didn't really enjoy and even not finish. And also I've noticed that just the pressure of having to read that book before a certain date, before it's released, and to have to write a review for it, and that whole process, I don't really enjoy. It feels like too much pressure. And in general, I think like most people, I don't really like assigned reading, and that's how it felt for me a little bit. I've been aware of that aspect from very early on, so I was very picky with the ARCs that I requested, and I also made sure that I wasn't requesting a lot of them because I wanted to make sure that I would hit the deadlines and I would read the books on time and that I would not overwhelm myself. But the experience overall isn't that successful for me, at least. I know and other booktubers love reading ARCs and they're doing a great job at it, but I think I'm a bit less following the calendar of new releases and all that jazz. So I think probably ARCs aren't for me, because I do like to read what I feel like reading in the moment, and you don't necessarily have that freedom with ARCs. So as a result, unless there is a book that I'm especially excited for that has like all the things that I'm sure I'm gonna love, Unless there is this very, very special opportunity, I don't think I'm gonna continue reading arcs. And in general, I've noticed that this whole theme of having a side reading isn't really something that works for me. So I, for example, do love to put TBRs together, to have a list of books of, okay, for the month of October, I would want to read these books. But then in reality, I feel very differently when it's time to read those books. So I'm still excited about the books I usually put on my TBRs, but I don't like the pressure of having to read them before the end of the month. In general, you might have noticed if you've been following my channel for a while, I kind of steered clear from that whole hamster wheel of having to make a TBR at the beginning of the month and then a reading wrap up at the end of the month, and having to bookend your reading according to the month and to kind of follow that calendar very strictly. I don't enjoy that, so I've kind of stopped doing that, and I'm just talking about books that I've read when I feel like it, when I feel like I have enough to say, when I am in the mood for it. So I'm putting less pressure on myself around this as well. The third point is don't sweat the small stuff. I've noticed that sometimes I'm a bit too much in my head when I'm filming and I feel like, oh, this didn't come out the way I wanted. I didn't hit the mark as I would have liked. I'm not as articulate as I would want. Or just like small ways I might be expressing things. And I would get the feeling that it's not good and I will have to scrap it in the end. But then when comes the editing time and I'm actually seeing the footage, I'm just like, actually, it's fine. And I can use it as is, and it's not a big deal. From the beginning of my channel, I've been trying to not worry too much and not put too much pressure on myself, because I've seen so many videos where YouTubers are apologizing for a background noise that we can't even hear, or for messy hair that actually looks totally fine. And I think we're just so worried about what other people will think that we will actually put a spotlight on the thing that's bothering us when 99% of people won't even notice it. So I'm trying to be more chill and not worry too much about the small details. I think the most important thing is that people can hear you, that you have something interesting to say, or at least something that you are interested in, and that's it. If people are bothered by the background noise, well, they'll just move on to the next video and it's fine. That being said, the fourth lesson I learned is that just making videos isn't enough in order to get better. So quantity is not enough. At this point, I've made, again, over 100 videos, and if quantity was enough, then I should be a master filmmaker, which clearly I'm not. So again, quantity is not enough. If you want to improve, then you need to be intentional about it. One thing, for example, is when I started my channel, I was so nervous in front of the camera. You can see it in my first video. I'm just freaking out. Hi, welcome. I'm Kat. Nice to meet you. And obviously, after making 100 videos, I feel much more comfortable talking to the camera, but I still don't feel like my elocution is perfect, that I've fixed all those problems that I can notice when I edit. And the reason for that is because I haven't been intentional about fixing them. I haven't made a conscious effort to fix them. I'm trying right now to be more articulate and to avoid all the ums and ahs that I sometimes do when I'm speaking to the camera. So hopefully this video will be easier to edit and nicer to listen to. But again, I'm trying to find the balance between finding the things that I want to improve and not sweating the small stuff. Next, a lesson that I've learned more recently is that the connection strategy to channel growth isn't sustainable in the long term. What do I mean by that? Ideally, when you're starting your channel, you should already be an active member of the YouTube community and commenting on other people's channels, trying to engage with them and make connections, even before you post your first video. It's fine if you start doing it when you start your channel That's probably what most people do. But you should definitely, again, engage with other YouTubers, and hopefully you will start to make friendships and connections, and you will follow each other and promote each other's channels and help each other grow. That is a great way to get started, but it is not enough if you want a channel to grow past a certain point. That is even the case if your goal is not to grow your channel that much and have thousands and thousands of followers. I'm a fairly small channel. I only have about 350 subscribers at the time of filming this, but already I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed by the number of channels I should be engaging with if I want my channel to keep growing. So I want to be very clear that I'm not advocating for you to comment on other people's videos just to promote your channel. That should not be the point. At least for me, I think that's a bit not genuine, and I don't really like that. The primary goal of engaging with others should not be growing your channel, hopefully. Like, you do that because you genuinely enjoy the content that they're making and you want to connect with the person behind it. I remember a channel, like a friend of mine posted a video and the file was actually corrupted. So you had like the first 2 minutes of the video and then there was no sound for the rest of it. And someone commented, "What an amazing video. I loved your answers to this tag." I think it was a tag video. And well, that person exposed themselves there because they commented as if they watched the video when, again, there was no sound past 2 minutes of the video. So clearly they didn't, and they were just commenting to, again, get that traction and try to promote their channel and get themselves notes. That's a bit shitty, and I would not encourage that. Again, I think you should be commenting on people's videos if you've actually watched them and if you actually enjoy the person's content and want to connect with them. So I'm not saying that you should only comment on other people's videos just to get something in return. But obviously, engaging with other channels is a way to help your own channel. There is only so many channels that you can do that with. And so at some point, if you want your channel to grow, you need to find other ways to promote it and make it attractive. The next point, which is still a lesson that I'm learning at the moment and which is very linked to the previous point I'm making, is that I can't watch everything and it's hard. I do want to follow everyone who is following my own channel, who is commenting, engaging with my content. I want to pay that back and engage with their content as well, but I just can't. At some point I don't have the time or just the brain space for it. And even the people that I follow, I can't watch all of their videos. Otherwise, I would be spending all my day just doing that, watching YouTube, and it's not possible. And it's hard because I want them to watch my content and I want to watch their content, but I can't watch everything, and I have to accept that I have my limitations and I can support my YouTube friends as much as I can, but there is a limit to what I'm able to do. So there are a couple of channels where I will watch almost everything. I don't want to say everything because if there is one video that I missed, I don't want them to come after me, but almost everything, and I'm gonna let the helicopter pass. Don't sweat, it's a small thing. So apart from those couple of channels where I watched almost everything, now I need to be selective because I want to engage with different points of view, people from different countries, different parts of the world, with different tastes and reading different things. And if I want to get that diversity of input, I need to follow quite a number of people, and then obviously I can't watch everything. So I need to be comfortable with that, but it's a bit hard, I won't lie. I've learned this a bit of the hard way because I came to a point where I was a bit burned out from YouTube and not even making videos, but just watching them, because I would go to my subscription tab and see all the videos that were out and just feeling overwhelmed and feeling like I had to watch everything and just spending hours watching videos back to back and commenting on everything, and it's just not good. It's not good for my mental health, and that's it. That's enough of an argument. It's not good for my mental health, so I just stopped doing it. There is not much more to say about it. Number 7, and it's a bit of a sad one, but people disappear from YouTube. You will follow some channels, exchange with that person, comment on their video, they will follow you back, comment on your videos, and then one day you don't hear from them. They stop posting and you don't have other ways to contact them and you don't hear from them. And it's sad, but that's the thing. YouTube is only a tiny, tiny part of people's lives, and when they have other things going on, they will need to drop out or they just stop enjoying it. They don't find it's a good fit for them, or I don't know, there might be many, many reasons why people stop posting on YouTube. But yeah, you need to move on, and if they come back, it's great, it's fun, and it's good to see them back. But it's the sad reality. There are a bunch of smaller channels that I still follow and I'm still hoping that they will come back, but they haven't posted in months and months, and sometimes more than that. Then that's why it's also important to keep discovering new channels so that you always have interesting people to follow. Number 8 is a tough one, and it is don't let the numbers discourage you. I'm not sure how accurate or true those numbers are, but a few stats that I found out about YouTube is that less than 9% of channels will hit 1,000 subscribers. In my opinion, those odds aren't too bad. It's 1 out of 10. So it's still quite a few channels that hit the 1K subscribers. But I understand that it can be very disheartening when you post Android videos and only have 350 subscribers. Even if you don't make it for the numbers, even if you're not putting videos out to get views and subscribers and all of that, it's not your primary purpose. Like, you are here more about the quality of the interactions than the quantity of them. It's still very hard to escape the numbers. Like, you can't really post on YouTube without seeing big top front the number of subscribers that you have. And when your video is doing well, you get little fireworks in your YouTube studio dashboard. So numbers are very much there and they can't be ignored, but you need to learn to pass beyond that. And related to the point I was making before, again, I'm not sure how accurate that number is, but I read that in 2025, there is about 115 million channels, but only 60 million of them are actually posting consistently every month. So about half of the channels on the platform are inactive. So if only less than 10% make it to 1,000 subscribers, but already half of them are inactive, I think that doubles your odds if you're posting regularly. So again, just keep at it, be consistent, keep going. It can take a while. Some other numbers, because I do love numbers. I've read that the average length of time for a channel to reach 1,000 subscribers is 15 months. So obviously it can get much shorter than that. Some miracles happen and some channels hit more than 1,000 subscribers by their first video, which is wow. But some take much more time. I've read as well that MrBeast channel, which is like a huge channel, took 4 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. So you need to be patient. Again, don't focus too much on the numbers. It's obviously easier said than done, and does it apply if your goal is to make money out of it? In which case, this video is probably not for you, because that's not my goal. I'm doing it as a hobby, and so that's why I'm annoyed by how much I can fixate on the numbers sometimes, and I'm trying not to pay too much attention to it. Number 9, making writing content is potentially putting me in a writing slump. And that's not a lesson I would have wanted to learn because I wanted to meet other writers on YouTube and to connect with them, and the best way to do that is if I make writing content myself. At the beginning of my channel, it worked well when I was doing the Write for Life program or the 1,000 words of summer challenge. That was fine, that was not a problem, and it was actually fun to vlog those processes. But most recently, I think I probably put too much pressure on myself to go back to making writing content and making it interesting. But the reality is that I'm a slow writer. I'm recovering from burnout, so that's also impacting quite a bit my ability to write. And writing and publishing and the whole book world is such a slow industry. It takes so much time to write a book. So when you're slow on top of it, it's not really super exciting, I guess, to watch. Or, I mean, I don't mind watching it. That's kind of the thing. I do enjoy watching this kind of content, but I'm a bit frustrated with myself when I don't have exciting updates and things to talk about. And so that's probably why it's not helping my writing. Just having the camera filming me while I'm writing is kind of stifling and not a nice feeling. So I will admit sometimes pretend I'm typing and then turn off the camera and then do the actual writing. Also, this battle between the time it takes to make videos and the time it takes to write a book. And so should I put so much time into making videos, or should I invest that time in writing? There's a lot in there, but I think mainly it's kind of the pressure I can feel when I'm making content about my writing. I'm very much of a discovery writer. I don't know really how to pitch the book that I'm currently writing because I'm still discovering it, and so that makes it hard to talk about it online. I also intend to be traditionally published, so it makes it a bit difficult to know where the line is between what I can talk about online and what would be detrimental in the process of finding an agent and then a publisher if I talk too much about the book online and reveal too much about it. So yeah, it's quite tricky, and I've been struggling this past month to get into writing, and coincidentally I was making content in the previous weeks about my writing. So correlation isn't causation, but it's a possibility. I think you can see overall a theme that pressure isn't good for me. I like to do my thing at my own rhythm in my own way. Yeah, I need to be more chill. I guess that's the main lesson. I stress too much. And then finally, number 10 is know why you're doing it. Because if you're not doing it for the numbers to make a lot of money and to find fame, which I guess shouldn't be your main motivation because it's very tricky to get to that point and there's no guarantees, then if you're not doing it for that, then what is gonna sustain you to do it in the long run? What is gonna keep you going when you don't get that many views or when you don't see the numbers going up? Because we have this bias, we want growth, we want to see progress. And so when things are slow or even sometimes going a bit backward, what is gonna keep you motivated? It's fine to stop. A lot of people do it, like it's fine. It's not the end of the world. But if you want to do that for a long time, what is your motivation? What is gonna keep you going? And that can change over time. I think for me, I might have lost the plot a little bit. I have noticed for the past few months that I was less motivated about YouTube, and at the same time, I don't want to stop, I don't want to quit. So I'm struggling between lacking motivation, but also wanting to keep going. When I started my channel, I was in the thick of burnout at work, and so I wanted to expand my portfolio of fun. So I wanted a new activity that would be fun, I would learn new things and try something new, and so the novelty, I think, was driving me at the time. And it's not really new anymore because I've been doing it for almost 2 years, so I need to find a new source of motivation. Another thing that was driving me was to meet people, and so that's still very much a driver. That's probably still what kept me going even during those months when I was not motivated. I've met incredible people through this channel. That's invaluable, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose the connections I've made. So that's definitely one reason why I keep going, because it's a different relationship when you have a channel or when you're just a viewer. People also have a window into your life, or at least who you are, and so it's more of an even playing field in the relationship if you also have a channel than if you're just commenting on people's videos. So that's one motivation for me to keep going, but I don't know how much it's gonna sustain me and how long, if it's the only reason why I do it. I can't be doing it just for other people in a way. Another reason I started my channel was to better remember the books that I'm reading, because I have a terrible memory and it's kind of frustrating to be reading 70, 80 books a year and sometimes not even remember a single thing about that book, not even remembering having read that book. But I have to say that it's not actually the making of videos, at least the way I'm making them now, that's cementing books in my memory. What's been more helpful is to do buddy reads and being forced to discuss the book with someone, to write down my thoughts and make them intelligible for someone else, to force myself to have something interesting to say about the book. And I mean, you should do that as well if you're making videos about books, but sometimes it's easy to do a big review with lots of books and just say, yeah, I like this, I didn't like this, and just like stay very on the surface, which is not possible, I feel, when you're doing a buddy read and you're just trying to go in depth into the book. So that's been much more helpful. I think I have to accept that I won't remember all the books, but I want to remember the books that matter. And so it can be through a buddy read, or it can be making more in-depth videos about those specific books. I'm not sure yet. But so it's a goal that I had that I haven't fully accomplished. And then another one that came later on with my channel was to prove myself that I could be consistent with something, because during my burnout I had very much this feeling that I couldn't stick to anything, that I had no discipline, no consistency, and it's not true. But I was really struggling with that at the time, and so being able to post on this channel almost every week, sometimes twice a week, has been very beneficial for my self-confidence in that regard. But yeah, I feel like I need to find a new breath for this channel and to renew my motivation. So for now, I think I'm gonna post a bit less than I used to. Again, I was posting every week or even twice a week, and for now I'm probably gonna be posting, well, I think twice a month would be good, would be I think a good balance, but we'll see. I want to make videos that I'm happy with, that I'm excited about, that I'm proud of, and that also takes a bit of time. I do, for example, really enjoy vlogs when they're done, but they take so much planning and so much time editing that I don't feel like I could do that every week. It's just not realistic. I've been putting off making this video because I wasn't sure what was gonna happen with my channel, and I still honestly don't really know. I know that I want to keep going for now, but I don't have the same drive that I used to. So I need to find again what's working for me and what are the videos that I really want to make and that I would be passionate about making. It would be super helpful if you could let me know in the comments what you would be most interested in, what you enjoy about this channel, what maybe you're less interested in. Having a little bit of feedback would be super helpful and super appreciated. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one, whenever it is. Bye.